What's going on, Facebook and YouTube? Dan Wise Media Group with Tony White. And today we have supposedly somebody supposed to be pretty funny from what I hear. Her name is Bahiyyih, which I butchered a bunch of times. Bahiyyih, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. That was very serious. So Bahiyyih, I got a joke for you.
Oh, no.
Did you know that alligators can grow up to 15 feet?
No.
But usually they only grow 4.
Dad jokes.
You can
Dad jokes.
if you want.
Jokes.
If you want, you can use that.
Oh
tonight.
my God, thank you. That's what I'm always waiting for. You know, like people just
figured.
don't say it enough. You know, put this in your act. Wish you would do so much more.
So Bahiyyih, you're from Yakima.
I am. I am from
That I did not know because your counter. Is he the opening act? The other guy, what's his name?
We're both co-headlining.
Co-headlining.
Yes.
Who goes first?
I will go first.
Okay.
Because he's been in the business so much longer. You know, he's like an 80s sitcom star.
Really? I know we wanted to get him on, but he could not time it right with airlines and everything else. But he really did. He really put in the effort to try to come on. It was just we couldn't make it happen today. So are you excited?
I am. I'm very excited. It's gonna be great.
Have you done Warehouse? Warehouse West is where you're going to be doing it at.
Yes, and I have not been at that venue performing. I have been a patron of Warehouse West, but I've never performed there.
Do you know Jess?
No.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what time you're going to be. So people that just, people like Goldfish, they watch for like 5 minutes and they tune out. So before we lose our audience, what time are you performing? And do you know where Warehouse West is?
Well, I know Warehouse West is across the street from the West Valley Walmart. And we're going to be performing at 9 p.m. We also have another local comedian who's going to host, Mr. Brian Brisky. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, so there's 3 of you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that I did not know.
Brian was a late ad.
Yeah, he's not on the poster. Okay.
He hasn't done the time or the work yet to be on the poster.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. But
He's a fill in.
So we saw some of your background. It looked like you've come from some trauma and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've incorporated kind of like that into your jokes. So your humor is a little dark.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's so much dark. It's just kind of fueled. I think that a lot of humor's probably fueled by lots of trauma, lots of the childhood stuff, lots of life things.
Okay.
You know? I think that being able to spin things, once you can make them funny, you can heal.
Yeah.
You know, once you get over that bump. Like there's some things in my life I wouldn't talk about because they're not funny yet, but someday they might be.
My dad died yesterday. I don't know how to make that into a joke. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I always make uncomfortable situations a joke matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, like, how did you get into comedy? Like when did you realize like, I'm going to not just do this for fun, I'm going to make money with this?
Well, when me and my husband first started dating, he was an entertainer. He's a musician. He's also a local artist. And so he was like this dreamer kind of fella that I'd never had anyone in my life that was like that. So as he was doing like his musical career and whatnot, I kind of tried to get involved because I just had a regular job and, I was trying to figure things out. And so I went to my husband and I thought, you're a musician. You guys don't get paid what you should be getting paid. And most bands don't. It's just what happens. And so I was like, you need to be paid what you're worth and blah, blah, blah. And started kind of getting to his business. And he was like, okay, this is my dream. Now you have to go find your own. And kind of like shut me down. So then I thought about it for a couple of weeks. I came back to him. I said, I got it.
It only took a couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'd always thought about stand-up comedy, but for some reason I thought everybody did. Like it was like some illogical idea because everybody wants to be a star or something, So I always thought it was bizarre. But then, he was doing music. So I just told him I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. And it all worked out.
How long have you been doing this now?
Oh, about 13 years.
She's got that one fly that somehow found its way in the elevator up to the 9th floor, down the hallway into my office, and it's found Bahiyyih.
I probably let it in.
No, he was here pissing me off while I was trying to get the computer set up. Yeah. So how you said 9 years?
13.
13 years.
13.
Was it is it nerve-wracking now, and was it nerve-wracking in the beginning, and has it changed?
It's changed a lot. I think that like any other profession. Let's say you're going to be a doctor, you go to school all these years, and then you're a resident, and it takes time to develop and whatnot. So the beginning, it was very nerve-wracking. And I remember the first open mic I did, I had never even met other comedians in real life. So I
Right.
show up at this open mic in Seattle, and I thought that you just got up there and you were just funny. I thought that's just how it works, like you're just naturally funny. And so as I'm waiting for the open mic to start, all these other open mic comedians are coming in, and they all have like this little notebook, and they're all writing all these things. I'm like, what the heck are they doing? This is weird. Well, then I realized once I was on stage, people write jokes. I thought I was just going to get up there and just be my naturally hilarious self.
Improv.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so anyhow, it just, that's where I learned you have to write jokes. And then even then trying to figure out what is funny to the masses, not the funny to me, not the funny to my friends, but what's funny to the masses. So I started a blog online and just started writing. And I would just tell stories. And then I found out what strangers could actually relate to and what made the masses laugh. So then that's when I really started getting serious and started doing,
Is
real
there
sets.
is there like a fine line between what you find funny and what obviously you need to cater to what other people find funny? Do you balance it out where like you still enjoy the joke, or are the jokes purely for others' entertainment?
No, I love all my jokes. They're
Okay.
like little babies, and some of your kids, they're not like your absolute favorite, but they're still your baby. You know what I mean? It's like I have a bunch of kids and I love all of them exactly the same. Okay.
We were just
But-
watching.
Can you cut that part out?
Yeah, please take that out.
We just watched some little clip where you were talking about your kids, except for the one white,
What, the one
the
white
one white one.
Yes, the white one.
Yeah.
The white one, yeah.
So when you come up with your routine, because I love watching comedy, like, well, no, but I'm very critical. Like, they're not all comedy. I don't find all comedy funny.
Right.
When you're doing your routine, because obviously you've got your jokes, but then you got to create the segue into the next
Yes.
joke where it seems like you're just kind of carrying on a conversation.
Yes.
Is that hard?
Yes.
Because that's like your storytelling, you're remembering almost a script without sounding scripted.
Well, and that's where the skill comes in. That's where the time, the actual work. And I think that people can think that they're really funny or whatever. Oh, I've got jokes. But to actually develop it into something that can run together and run together and run together and become this almost like you're tying knots in a great big huge rope.
Right.
But they're all coming together. They're all coming together. And, it takes a lot of time. I was out on the road and still am out on the road quite a bit. And I had to learn how to make different audiences laugh, not just Yakima,
Right.
but within the United States. You go into some very conservative places and you go into some very liberal places. What jokes are going to bring these people together? Irregardless of, let's say, what their politics are or their financial status or even their race. What can cross those kind of lines? And I think it takes a lot of time, a lot of travel, and being in front of a lot of different people to try to figure that out.
Yeah, that's got to be tough because, man, if the audience, do you get nervous if you feel like the audience isn't engaging?
Not anymore. I used to get so nervous. I used to have such bad stage fright that I would usually throw up before a show.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't want anyone to talk to me. No socializing. And then I was down in Reno, probably about 2014 or something, 15, I don't know. And I got hypnotized by this hypnotist that was on the show.
And it worked?
It worked. It worked. So I don't have stage fright anymore. I don't have that.
Because of that?
Whatever you actually put your belief into, it's going to work.
But I mean, like, that's when it transferred over from.
Transferred.
Wow.
That's when it transferred. All of a sudden, I could just be on stage. Now, if people aren't vibing with what I'm saying now when I'm on stage, I just start digging through the little chest.
Them.
Looking for like what's going to engage with them.
Watch my finger. No. Yeah, it's just a matter of digging through your toolbox, and you just have to have been doing comedy long enough to where you got a big enough bag full of tricks that something's going to work.
What's been your longest set? Have you done like a special of any kinds?
Oh gosh, everybody will call anything a special anymore. I don't know about that, but
I was at Denny's and I was their opening night at Denny's.
my special's on YouTube. It's 15 minutes long. It's like, geez, Louise. So I hate to label anything, but I've been on stage for an hour. I can do an hour very easily, and that's my limit, is an hour. But that's for the audience's sake too, because I think that sometimes people really overestimate somebody's attention span.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to get off stage and people be like, oh, she's finally done.
Yeah, especially we live in a time now where it's like TikTok videos, shorts, where people are watching you on TikTok, and it's like, oh, she's funny in 8 seconds, but
yeah,
I can't watch anybody for an hour.
I can hardly even watch a whole television show without being distracted by my phone anymore, because I love TikTok. I'm completely addicted. Like
a rabbit hole.
Oh, but you got to, like, I use it as my Google now. And
fuck, it's crazy, right?
Oh, it's super
that was
crazy.
interesting about prison, is there's no cell phones in prison. So it's like you've heard people like phantom limbs, phantom arm.
Yeah.
In prison, we'd get phantom phone. I'd walk the track and I would feel my phone vibrate. Oh, it's not there. There's no phone. So you think differently now. Being back, I mean, it's not like I just got home yesterday. I've been out forever, but the internet, it's so mind sucking of like fast.
It's such a trap. It's such a trap, you know, and it's like all this information coming at you so often, so fast, whenever you want it. You know, I can think, who invented chairs, and I can look that up. I can find the first chair. I can find the first recliner. Like, all this information is available. And I don't know if that's a good thing, because I feel like it makes us so overrun with information. We actually know nothing.
Who's your favorite comedian? Do you have a favorite comedian, or do you have a favorite style of comedy?
You know, I grew up, my parents were huge comedy fans, and I grew up with Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Carlson, and Bill Cosby. But
I still like, look, I honestly, I feel like if they did a Bill Cosby special, it fucking hit. It would go like,
dude,
it would be,
somebody would open for him, and I can't say if I got the call. I wouldn't.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sign me up.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be the one that got drugged, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not exactly like the type. You know what I mean? Like, guys
Bill
don't even
Cosby,
flirt
drug
with
me, please.
He wouldn't even do it. He'd be like, that lady's too mean. Like, I'm not like a victim type. Like, I would be so shocked if somebody like actually tried to get me. I wouldn't even know what to do. I'd be like,
I'm honored.
Should I go? Where are we going? Do I get a drink?
Does your husband be like, oh my God, I'm so sick of jokes? No, he loves them.
He does. At first, you know, I would tell, because I have a lot of jokes about my husband. Because who wouldn't? If you're married, your spouse is your number one person that you're around all the time. So of course, all the
tell that to my spouse. See that, Shelly? You're supposed to be my number one.
Yeah, be his number one, and then talk about him. Talk shit about him.
Oh, she does.
You can write some jokes. I got an open mic going down at Bill's place every Tuesday, Shelly. Come on down.
Oh, really? You're at Bill's place?
Yeah,
That's our
every
new
Tuesday.
favorite spot.
Oh,
Friday night. What is it again? It's clam chowder and fish
and chips.
Fish and chips.
Well, and I hear they're bringing back their trivias on Thursday too.
Okay.
So I love Bill's place.
I'm too stupid for that, but
they are huge supporters of comedy. So they allow us to have our open mic there, and it's really starting to really pop off. Like, we're starting to get a lot of people down there. I've got a lot of local open micers coming down, and some are very developed, and others, you know, Bill's place doesn't support anything they say. It's a free country, and they're just saying things, and Bill's place is kind of like, oh no.
oops.
But I do a lot of comedy about my husband, and at first he was just so frazzled by it, you know. And
frazzled in a good way, or like frazzled like
no,
you're using me as the
upset.
butt of your jokes?
He was so upset because I had this joke about, you know, and it goes like, I've only been mistaken as my husband's mother one time. No more breastfeeding in public.
Oh shit.
I know they say it's natural, but not done in Fred Meyer's. They say no. And so I had written this joke, and I was like, this is such a great joke. And my husband, I'm like, hey, guess what? I did this joke at open mic, and it killed. And I told him, he goes, that is disgusting, and I don't want to ever hear that again. And I'm just like, huh. So then he started traveling with me. Once I started getting paid and doing shows around the country, if it's a really nice place or get a great hotel room, my husband will come with me. And the first time he's seen it in a big room, all of a sudden he was like, that's me.
Yeah.
Young husband. And now people take pictures with him at shows.
How much younger is he?
10 years.
You devil.
I know.
Bill Cosby, she's deserving of
Bill Cosby, I'll get you.
Is it so now making a living as a comedian, because obviously it didn't start off that way.
No.
It starts off as a love, a passion
Yeah.
to make people laugh. How hard was it to break into the scene? And now how do you just get calls for gigs, or is it like you put yourself out there? You create press releases?
I get a lot of calls for gigs. I have made, it's all about networking. Comedy's all about networking. And what the number one thing is there used to be a comedy club out in Sela. It was called Carmen's Comedy Club. And that's where I started. And I would volunteer every weekend to host, to meet all the traveling road comics. Because I was like, that's what I want to do someday. My dream was just to be in a hotel room with another comedian, getting ready for a show. And so I would go down there and I just kind of stalked comics that were working. And I found one, Susan Jones. And she was my mentor, and she took me out on the road, and she believed in me. And I had, I think, about 10 minutes when I first went out on the road. And I just kept traveling with her.
Tony, you said you had some questions ready?
Well, yeah. That's it. There you go.
All right. So as soon as I see it pop up, I'll go ahead. So Tony's got some questions prepped to kind of ask here. There's a delay.
There is a
Oh, there we go. So you performed in a variety of settings like clubs, casinos, corporate events.
Yes.
How do you adapt your
material
there we
suit
go.
different audiences?
That's what okay, she kind of talked about
So
that a little bit.
Well, what's really important, especially the you have to be able to play any kind of arena. Now, a bar show is going to be an F word show.
Okay.
You have to be able to kind of fuck it up a little bit. And it's just the way it is. It's a bar. It's usually kind of rowdy, that kind of stuff. And then you can take that same set and kind of do a corporate thing with it where no F words are allowed, like no swearing. And that's same with casinos. Lots of casino shows I do. There's a very strict word, thing.
Do they give you like a list of things like do's and don'ts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I worked for a casino years ago, and you had to sign a contract that you would not swear, or else it would start deducting money from your paycheck. And you couldn't take the Lord's name in vain. And I learned how to do comedy clean. When I started, all clean, like no swear words. And then, that's the way you get work.
Right.
Because nothing pays better than a corporate gig or a casino gig, and then the fun things are like bar shows, like tonight, being able to go to a show and kind of saying, not that it's going to get crazy. It won't get too weird. I know my Aunt Nina is going to be there. Don't worry, Nina. It's going to be okay.
Is your Aunt Nina show up to a lot of your shows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you do a lot of local shows?
No, I don't, because I like to be paid well when I'm going to be in Yakima. So I don't want to oversaturate the market. Like this is the first show I've had here since 2022. And so this is it's 2023 now. Yeah. So this is my first show here in Yakima since 2022. I might do another one for the winter. I like to do a big winter show, winter's comedy season, because it's kind of the indoor times.
How many shows do you do like a year? Does it vary?
It does. It really varies. Last year I was on the road full time.
Okay.
So I was gone a lot.
Really? Like out of state and stuff?
Yes.
Have you been to the East Coast?
I have not been to the East Coast. The farthest I've gone is like Oklahoma.
Okay.
So, but I have not been to the East Coast.
I hear that a lot with all entertainers of all sorts, from comedians to musicians to like magicians. Seems like we had a local rapper in here, Coaster. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh, I know who Coaster is.
We had him on a few months ago, and he said the same thing. He said he has been to the East Coast, but he said it was like one time. When we interview people on the East Coast, they don't make it very far to the West Coast. Why is that?
Well, the cost. I mean, you want to be able to make a profit.
Right.
You want to be able to make a profit.
Does your fee that they pay, is it here's the money and you're in charge of or is it like here's your fee and we're taking care of the hotel?
It really depends on the venue.
I imagine corporate events
corporate events, they'll pay for flights, they pay for the room, everything's paid for. But let's say I want to go do a club in New York. You don't get paid much for club shows
because everybody wants to. Probably the competition's probably vast too. Like everybody's competing.
And not only that, any club, any comedy club in the United States, for a comedian to work, unless you're a huge name, you don't make a ton of money, but it's the clout. It's the clout that I'm in at this club.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Is there must be a balance where, like, if you're going to somewhere that's not super recognized, your fee is your fee. But if you're going to go somewhere where it's like the who is the who, the place to be.
Absolutely.
That gets you seen a little bit more, right?
Yes.
What's do female comedians struggle more than male comedians? Because I would think not. I would think this is one of the industries where,
Oh no, the biggest, I think it's like 90%, 80 to 90% of all people that pay for comedy are white men. Like, so males in comedy have it way, I could say they have it way easier, but I don't really like to play the woman man thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? I like to be versatile and stuff, but you put more than one woman on a show, all of a sudden it's a woman show.
Me Too. This is put on by the Me Too movement.
Oh, we're going to talk about our periods, guys.
Let's let it flow. So the Pacific Northwest is its own unique culture vibe. How has your background from this region influenced your comedic material?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you're native, which
Yes.
we didn't know that until we read it. I just
Mhm.
thought you were
Caucasian.
vanilla latte. What is it? What is it? Everybody gets every blonde gets the spice latte.
Oh, the pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. I figured you were just.
Yeah.
I figured you were going to come in with a pumpkin spice latte.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
no. But
I'm more likely to come in with a pumpkin spice latte, to be honest.
Well, the funny thing is about myself is I'm very racially ambiguous. Like I can pretty much kind of get in where I fit in, just kind of squeeze in and just kind of be part of the crowd because it's just the way life's worked out. And, and then the name Bahiyyih kind of throws people off. And so, as a native, though, I can tell you that I come from a great line of storytellers, and I think that it's part of our culture. And I work for the tribes a lot.
Do you?
Yes. And I love it very
Like
much.
casinos and stuff?
Yeah, casinos and the actual tribes. I've done shows for the Yakimas. I'll be with the Macaws next month. I also work a lot with native booking companies for different native shows that they put on and whatnot.
So they have like their own circuit, and
Mhm.
you're okay. Yeah, my buddy's like a really good magician. He has like the hypnotist stuff, and not like so much like up close magic. It's more of like freaky stuff. He writes for David Blaine and whatnot, and he got a lot of his gigs early on from the college circuit. He would apply. I forgot what the associations are, but he would get involved with them.
NACA.
Yes, that's the one.
Mhm.
And he was doing like 6 figures a year through NACA
Oh yeah. NACA's really
until
big.
COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then it all went.
Oh, when COVID hit, man, that was
That must have been tough. Did you try to do like virtual comedy? I just can't.
dude, I did it and it was the worst. I mean, I don't.
You don't
want
got the
to-
audience, right?
They're on
you
there,
film.
but then you want them to like mute, but then you can't hear them laugh. Or they were doing like parking lot shows where honk if I'm funny. There's no
Oh,
way in hell I was going
my.
to do that.
You know who Flip Schultz is? I'm assuming, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he's more East Coast. He's a big comedian. And I was watching something on him. He was talking about when COVID hit. I think it was him. And he said it was so hard because of what you just said, muting, you're not hearing the audience. So he said he would wear AirPods where he had just his own background of like audience ambient noises
Right.
playing in his ears.
Right?
So it would trick him into thinking,
Yeah.
he's like, but then it would fuck up because they don't laugh. Yeah, shit like that. Just kind of like noises, glasses
Yeah.
clinking in the background. What are some tricks that you use to help you? There must be times when you're like getting ready to go and you're like, I'm not in the mood. And then you get on and it turns on. Like, do you have to psych yourself up?
I will. If I'm in a hotel room, I'll listen to some, music, do a little bit of Beastie Boys, maybe a little bit of metal, get it going.
Do you scream? Do you
Yes,
like
get it going, put on your makeup, get ready, but it doesn't take a lot anymore. It used to be like my whole day had to
Until you
have a
got
certain
hypnotized.
routine. Yeah. To where I was going to be successful. But now, I've done comedy on really bad days and usually I have a great set. I think it's kind of
have you ever had a heckler?
oh, they're the worst. I'm just not a roast.
ask.
I'm not a roast comedian. And so I just go too hard.
Oh.
I go too hard and turn everyone against me because I can't take it. I just can't.
Give me an example.
Like they'll yell out something and I'll kind of play with them a little bit, try to like, haha, okay, but then they'll come back again. And I don't have like, what do you do for a job? Well, blah, blah. Like, I don't have any of that. So the first thing I think is, well, your mom's a whore. And that doesn't go over well. Like that doesn't end
Have you
well.
ever turned a whole audience against you?
No, but I have gotten off the stage and walked right up to a table and the guys are like, well, you did great. After they just harassed me the entire time. And I was like, but I hate you. I hate your guts. And then everybody's like turned and looked at me and I was like,
Why
I
do you
hate 'em.
Why do you think is it just because they're drunk? Why do you think they do that?
I think it's a personality type. I think that they want to be part of the show.
Right.
I also think that they think that they're helpers, that they're generous. You know,
Right.
they're helping our material, you know, or, you know, they think every joke is a question or, you know, hey, how about this? And they're like, oh, I know about that. And then they start going. I just feel like it's a personality type because it's not a normal thing.
No.
No.
Wow, it sounds so much better without the fan on. That was actually kind of loud. Yeah, I could never imagine. We'll let Tony adjust the camera there. Perfect, Tony. It never stops in the studio. It's like we set the cameras before we go, and then yet we're fixing them again. I couldn't imagine like roasting somebody or heckling, maybe commenting once or twice, but
that's okay.
They don't pick up that it's like
Yeah.
I want you to stop talking so I can finish my set.
Yeah.
But you have to, I guess, be able to kind of.
Yeah, I just start
change
to
and
ignore
segue.
them. I ignore them and just try to keep on keeping on. And then afterwards, you know, they'll come up, oh, you know, I was just trying to help. And I'm just like, you know,
Have you ever
hope your house burns down.
Is that the kind of stuff you say?
No, I would never.
Man,
No.
we got to send in some hecklers.
Eyes,
We got
yeah.
to send some hecklers in there tonight just to see how she reacts.
No, I don't suggest that you do that. Don't. Oh,
Do-
God.
What about have you ever completely like just blanked?
Oh, yeah, you fall into this hole.
What do you do? Do you feel your body heat up?
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's like nightmarish.
Yeah. And I've had one that lasted for like, I don't know, 30 seconds is a long time.
That's a long fucking time for silence.
And then I just try to, oh, you know, how are you guys doing tonight? How you guys doing? Drink your water a little bit. And then usually something, if the gods are if everything's all aligned, then something will pop into your head and you'll come back.
Do you get off the stage like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get a joke? Like, does it mess with you? Does it follow you when you have
if you have a bad set, it follows you.
Yeah.
It follows you like you would not believe, and it doesn't go away until you get on stage again.
I guess I can say, you know.
Yeah.
So you're performing tonight again at
Warehouse West.
Warehouse West.
Out West Valley.
Do you have what's your next one after tonight? Do you have one already lined up or a
Yeah,
little break?
I will be in Wenatchee at the Buzz Inn next Friday. And then the next night after that, I will be at Crescent Bar at a little pizza place at the resort. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll be there.
Do you have a website with like your list of shows?
No,
Is that like strategically planned? Do you want a website with all your shows?
I don't. I just don't maintain it well. I'm just not a good business person. And no one looks at your website.
Right.
You know, it's
Facebook
an ego
probably, right?
thing. It's an ego thing. Like you'll see all these comics like on Facebook, like all these Facebook comedians, and they'll be like, oh, here's my schedule for the week. And it'll be like a picture of them like this. And then it shows like all these blurry dates that you can't really read.
What do you
Most
think?
of them are open mics. It's like, knock it off.
What do you think about companies that like build websites? Like, do you think they're like a dying breed?
They might be with social media. I mean, social media can pretty much do anything now. I mean, and I don't even have like 1 million followers on Instagram or Facebook, but I'm constantly getting booked off social media and word of mouth. You know, I get a lot of emails.
You know, you're in a good market. I was hoping you were going to really bash people that build websites because Tony has a website building company. I was going to SEO dealers. If you need your website built, come see Tony. You sure you don't want to bring me up? I could do really, really bad. That way it's like you look extra good. I could not get up on stage. I would just start talking about prison. Like,
oh, but prison's a good
who
one
wants to
talk
see a
about.
prison burpee? I can't do them anymore. So it's like
How long has it been since you got out of prison?
2015. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah,
I'm sure some real funny material in there though.
I'm sure there is. Yeah, dropping the soap, my knee pads I used to have to wear, mints on my pillows. Yeah. I don't have to live like that no more. I'm not in prison no more. No, I'm just kidding.
I spent the night at county jail one time.
It's even worse. County jail is worse than prison. Here?
Yeah.
The guy that we just interviewed before you, I told you the 10 years, and his son is in the county awaiting sentencing of 20 years for murder.
Oh, Jesus.
He's Norteño, I think you said.
Yep.
Or Sereno.
One of those two.
One of the Mexican gangs. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the statistics. If your actual parents have been incarcerated, the chance of you being incarcerated are just
go through the roof. Yep.
You know,
it's scary. Do you have kids?
I do.
You have a lot of kids, you said, right? How many?
I've got 4 kids and 3 grandbabies.
Okay. So how old are your kids?
My oldest is 30. My youngest is 14.
Okay.
And then my oldest granddaughter's 12.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You could be a great grandma in another 5-6 years.
That's a terrible thing to say.
I've got kids too, so I'm probably gonna.
Yeah, but men, it doesn't matter about men getting old. For women to get old, it's a whole different deal.
How old are you? Can I ask? You don't.
49.
49.
Yeah, 49.
I was gonna guess like 43, 44.
It's because I'm fat.
Is
It's
that
the
why?
fat. It is. It's the fat like keeps. I see all these people on like the Ozempic and whatnot, and then I think I got younger. I quit smoking cigarettes, gained 30 pounds. That really kind of puffed up the face a little bit, and then I got to my point in quitting smoking where I thought, oh, I can have a cigarette. So now I'm kind of smoking, but I'm still really fat. And if I quit again, I'm scared. Like, how fat am I going to get? I'm going to look like I'm 12.
You need to start like. I think you need to start like crack or something.
Oh God! Damn it.
Ozempic, is that weight loss drug that's like ridiculously expensive?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one.
There's a weight loss drug. If that's the one, it's like $1,500 for a prescription.
Why do you think I'm so fat?
Who the F can afford that?
I don't know, but
And
people are
insurance
doing
doesn't
it.
really even cover it right now.
No, but people
Man.
are doing it. But then they talk about the Ozempic face. It makes their face drop. So all I have going for me is my face, and that's the good thing about the black background. Just a nice young.
You look beautiful and stuff. you're glowing like you're gonna kill it tonight. Do you get extra like when you know it's your night to perform?
Yeah.
Because I can't relate because I don't do comedy, but I do podcasts and whatnot. And when I go like 5 or 6 days or a week without doing one, I start to get a little down in the dumps. And then when I do one, there's like a high that I'll ride for like a week. It just feels like energizing.
Absolutely.
It's like liquid. It's like the sun hitting me.
And I was home for most of summer. I spent most of the time at home, but my husband is also an entertainer, and then he's a local artist, and he's been really popping off with the art.
Art, musician art, or art like.
Okay, so he's a musician. He has a band, Militant Poetry, but his art, his actual physical art, has been just kind of booming. He's down. He's
like drawing, painting,
drawing.
Okay.
And so he's got his stuff over at Shorthead Brewing, right down the street. They're displaying. He's got a big art display down there. He's got it down Tri-Cities, and I think the Kiln is going to be next for his art.
Oh, nice! Like he does like an art gallery type of a thing where he sells it there.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should get your husband on.
Oh, absolutely. And he's going to be at what's that? The music place, Monkey. Bearded Monkey. Yeah, he's going to be at Bearded Monkey on September 3rd with the Jungle Brothers, and it's like the 50th anniversary of
What kind of music do they do?
My husband has a band, Militant Poetry, and they do a lot of stuff like Rage Against the Machine.
Oh shit. So like 90s grunge, Nirvana type, like okay.
Yeah, and a lot of mix of that with hip hop, and then he's also his own hip hop artist. And so anyhow, they're going to be down there, and he does really well with that. So the summer was kind of his.
Oh yeah, we'd love to get him in.
Yeah.
That's our whole goal here is like local artists, entrepreneurs, because to me, what you do is an art form. People sometimes think of art as just like painting,
right?
But it's an art so when you're preparing, how often do you prepare new material, or does it just come to you? You're like in the middle of the night and you like flip out of bed and you grab a pen before you forget.
Yes. But then you write down some really bizarre things. Like I had this dream and I had said something and everybody at this barbecue just like erupted. Like everybody was laughing so hard. And I woke up and I immediately got my phone and put something in there. The next morning, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I put in there? And all it says is nothing but questions.
You ever have dreams of a skit or a bit and you can't remember it? You're like, ah.
Yes.
Have you ever been naked in front of an audience?
It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard being
to anybody,
because I imagine it never really turns off. It's always like material. We interviewed a graffiti artist, and everywhere he looked, he was like, "Oh, I could graffiti this." Like his mind's just going. Do you see material in everything? Your like day-to-day life. You're like, I can make material out of what I just heard.
Yeah. I guess so. Like I said, I've gained all this weight, and it was funny because last night I have the Face ID on my phone.
It doesn't recognize you anymore.
It doesn't recognize. It's like, who's this fat lady? And I'm like, same phone. I don't know. I don't know.
Are you what do you do actively to like, are you trying to battle the anti-cigarette weight gain that you think you received, or Are you walking more? This heat we've had the last 3 days is like living in a sauna. But
I have not gone outside. This is my first adventure.
nice. Well, welcome.
I have a standing desk at home, so whenever I'm doing any kind of work, I'm standing. I should be doing more, but
me and my girlfriend got on phentermine. I don't know if you ever heard of phentermine.
I have heard of phentermine. Did they still make that?
Not you're thinking of like
fentanyl?
No, fen.
Oh no. Yeah, fen.
Yeah, phentermine. It's actually I thought it was amazing. It's super cheap, by the way. Doctor to Help is where you can get it at. Mm-hmm. But I'll give you the link to it. It's more of like a suppressant for your appetite, and it gives you all this energy. Oh, Google it, check it out. My girlfriend turned me on to it. Because I'm an eater. I like food. Yeah. Like me and food, we're like this. Some people eat to live. I live to eat.
I love food.
Do you smoke weed?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So when I smoke weed, I have to eat after that. Taco Bell's my friend.
Oh well, I cook a lot. And then I'm on TikTok, so I'm making all these weird things that are fantastic.
Oh, you cook on TikTok?
No, I haven't cooked on TikTok. I put a lot of my food pictures for other foodies out there are on Instagram, and they are amazing.
So we're gonna have to, we'll make sure we share those links. Tony, let's pull up our Facebook and stuff so we can show awesome people where to follow. And we're gonna share what we're pulling up over here. Will be as long as this lets me get there we go. So this is where people can follow you. Uh-huh. Oh, there's you, Bahiyyih.
There we go.
So close that. There you go. So if people are curious to like, what's that really new comedian that's all over? He's a young guy. He's all over the internet right
Rife?
Now. Yeah.
Matt Rife.
Do you like him?
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Because he's so good at engaging with the audience. And of course he does it with all of like the moms and the MILFs and the whole sex appeal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's
one of those unfair anomalies.
Yeah.
Because comedians usually are not as hot as Matt Rife. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of comics and they don't usually look like him.
And he can freestyle like crazy.
Oh, my girlfriend's calling me, so she keeps calling. You're on the air, Shelly.
You need to come home.
What color am I?
What
color am I?
You're caller 1. Say hi to Bahiyyih. She's the amazing comedian tonight.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm gonna call you back because you keep calling me.
No, that was a butt dial.
Okay, bye. I sent her a text. I'm doing it out. Then she called me right back. I'm like, all right. She hates being on the air. So Matt Rife, yeah, he's definitely, and a lot of people, I think people love the underdog, but then when the underdog makes it, they want to fucking bring them back down. Why is that?
I don't know. It's a sickness.
It is, right?
It's a sickness. We're all bored.
Yeah.
We're all bored. And there's nothing better than watching somebody way up here fall.
So when you decided you were going to be a comedian, you were going through everything. Were there people that they didn't say you weren't going to make it, but were there like people like, oh,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about now?
They don't tell me anything. I don't know who they're telling. I don't know. I don't got a lot of enemies. I kind of wish I did. I have all kinds of plans and plots.
That would probably be good material.
Right.
I'm waiting on some enemies. I don't know where they are.
So what time do you expect yourself to be performing tonight? I know the show starts at, I believe, 9.
It starts at 9. I know that Brian is probably going to do 8 minutes.
Oh, 8 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Brian's the
host.
The host. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy you said came in last minute.
Yes.
And then after Brian, we have
me.
You.
Mm-hmm.
And how long is your set roughly?
Well, it's supposed to be 45 minutes like Mark's, but I'm having Brian step in and host. So it'll be 45 minus 8 minutes.
Okay. So you're going to be on shortly after 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So if people want to come see you tonight,
yes,
they should get there at 9 o'clock.
Well, yeah, and they better get there earlier than that. I mean, by the way, those ticket sales sound, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Come early and get a chair and get a drink.
And for those that are wondering, Tony, let's show the Facebook page for, there we go. If anybody still wants to get tickets, if you reach out to Tony White, which you can find on, those keep opening. If you follow Tony White over at Talk Yakima Facebook group, Tony's got a special, but you got to reach out to Tony to get the special.
Directly.
So Bahiyyih, what do you for an upcoming comedian? Let's keep it to the Me Too movement side of things right now. For an upcoming young lady that wants to break into the comedic world, that doesn't really know where to start, she's nervous. What kind of advice would you give to the younger you?
Go to an open mic, write a joke.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, what's the worst thing?
Right.
When I first started, I'll tell you what, I had a friend come with me to the first open mic. Next time my sister came after that, nobody wanted to go. So I have extreme social anxiety, but I had to just kind of suck it up and go down by myself and talk to strangers.
Do you feel like the fear of failing versus going up and trying and failing, which one of those do you think sucks more?
Oh, God.
Failing without trying or trying and failing?
Trying and failing's rough.
That's not the answer I was looking for, Bahiyyih.
That's a long drive home. I hope you live close.
I feel like you've probably gotten better throughout your course, right?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
What's that mean?
No, like when you start off at something, you gradually get better at it. But if you're afraid to start, you're not going to know until you give it a shot, right?
Yeah, but you know what amazes me are some people that will just keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? Some people keep coming back to open mic, and you're just like, what fuels this? And
yeah,
I don't know what fuels it. And then some people are great, and then they never come back, and I'm just like, what happened?
Have you ever seen like a first timer like kill it and then they just
Absolutely
disappear? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, we're gonna be there tonight, Bahiyyih, and then you're gonna be next week. You're gonna be where again?
I'm gonna be in Wenatchee at the Buzz Inn.
Wenatchee at the Buzz Inn.
Yep.
And how much are those tickets? Do you know?
No idea.
So they should reach out to
somebody there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't care. You're just there to tell your jokes.
I'm already booked. I got a set payout.
Have you ever showed up somewhere there was nobody there?
Yes.
Wow, that's got to be like.
I've done shows for like massive ballrooms because sometimes especially with like the tribes and casinos, they have it in their budget. They have to have the show happen. It's in their budget.
Right.
Now, if it's in a showroom, sometimes it's magnificent, thousands of people. Sometimes it can be a handful of people in a giant room.
Yeah, it seems weird.
And so you have to be able to adjust. And that's how you really know how much time you have. The smaller the crowd, you start to know, do I really have 30 minutes or do I have 10? Because without those laugh breaks and people clapping, material goes real.
Because you count on that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime I walk into a room, there's not very many people. I just start talking real slow. How you doing?
That's where I would feel like if I showed up and I'm peaking, I'm like, oh my God, there's 3 people out there. That's 1 in 3. I hope somebody laughs. When you got 3,000 people, some people laugh at you, you say the wrong word and you laugh.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself where you're in the middle of like what do you call it? Not a skit. A set. You're in the middle of a set, and all of a sudden you just completely change gears and you go with material that you had no plan to go with that for that tonight. Is that because of the way the audience reacts, or just like something tells you to do that? Well, what's intuition and what's going off of script?
Well, it's usually just the room. Like if I see that it needs something else, I'll pull out something else and it'll change the whole trajectory of where I was going. All of a sudden I'll be someplace else. But then sometimes sometimes a joke will pop in my head that has no business there and I'll tell it. And then that shifts my whole world around and I just go with it. That's the thing about doing comedy for so long. You have so many jokes that you can go all the different directions and usually still make it home, to the end.
It's so crazy with comedians because they're so good at telling jokes, making it feel like it's the first time they've ever told the joke. And then I'm always so let down when I'll watch like another special of like 2 years later and that joke comes up and I'm like, man, he did that joke so well again. Because it's an art form. It's an art form. So I give you big props because you're not just telling jokes from an audience. Do you practice in the mirror? Are you like in your mirror?
I would never.
No?
Never, no way.
That's what she has her husband for.
It used to be like I used to work down at the hospital before COVID. I worked down at Memorial. And so you just work it into conversation. You just, something happens and you just tell a little joke. And they don't know it's a joke because it's just conversation. And then it just kind of develops from there. You kind of see how it goes.
What about a family reunion? You're at a family reunion, like, hey, Bahiyyih, come tell us some jokes.
My husband's family is the worst. They're the worst. And so they do these great big huge family parties and they're so fantastic. And I love them all very much. They're the best people I've ever known my whole life. But one time we're at one of the big family things and we're in Uncle Arnold's backyard and Noe's cousin Anthony had told everybody he was going to do some kind of skit because the family will entertain each other. That fool leaves right when the entertainment's supposed to start. He just leaves and then all of a sudden says, "Hey, Bahiyyih, why don't you tell us some jokes?" So then all of a sudden I'm standing there in front of Noe's, all of his aunts, uncles, and whatever. And I'm like, well, I've been mistaken as his mother one time. No more breastfeeding in public. I'm making eye contact with his grandma. I'm like, damn it.
Does the family, do you get along with the family?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the best.
But is there a level of expectation when you go out to functions where like, you're like, oh man, these people are going to expect me to tell jokes because I'm the funny person. Is there ever a moment where you're not in the mood, but you do it anyway? Not on sets, but like.
Well, I'll joke around with them about me not telling jokes, and then I'll find myself away from them.
Yeah.
I just kind of wander away, or, if they're like, "Hey, tell us a joke." I'm like, "Well, you're a mechanic, fix my car." Like, shut up. Like, I'm not about that because I'm not a clowny kind of person. I'm not someone
No, you're not like Jim Carrey.
No.
Okay.
No.
I think that's what people automatically think when they think comedians. They think, oh, they must be like just always on.
People always think I'm mad. I've got this face and.
Yeah, you do look like a pissed off librarian.
I know. I was like so mad, and I'm really not usually. Usually, I'm just thinking about what I'm going to eat.
That's exactly what I'm thinking right this moment.
But they look at me, and I look like I have this vendetta.
Yeah, I'm just hungry.
Ooh.
Well, Bahiyyih, thank you. I know this was last moment. We just asked you yesterday because I found out yesterday, but thank you for coming in so quick. And let's get your husband in here. And guys, go over to Warehouse West tonight in Yakima. There's a link in the description of the video, also in the live feeds. You can find all of Bahiyyih's information. Go follow her, support your local artist. And what do you want to leave people with, Bahiyyih? Put it on you. Put the spotlight back on you.
It's right on you.
Well, you can come to the show tonight or don't. Don't show up.
Are you selling anything in the show? Do you have like t-shirts?
I do. I have these little drink cozies.
Where's our gift?
Koozies. Oh my gosh.
What is it? Your first fucking podcast? You don't bring a gift?
They're out in the trunk. You got to walk me to my car, buddy.
No, you're awesome. That's we don't get to always be this like candid with our guests because you never know who you're going to piss off and get a microphone thrown across the room at you. And then I'd have to, walk home with a black eye and explain it to my girlfriend. But I think you're awesome. I'm going to enjoy it tonight. My girlfriend can't wait to come too. So.
Oh, she's going to love it.
Yeah.
She's going to love it.
You're going to have to give her an autograph.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
And a koozie.
She can have a koozie.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bahiyyih,
thank you so much. I'm Dan Wise Media Group, Tony White, Bahiyyih Mudd. We're out of here, guys. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
Peace.